So welcome to another episode of Bugle Battle Reports. Today we're playing mission Surround and Destroy from Chapter 2 2020 pack. And we've got a Necron Tomb World today, back again. So I'll just talk through terrain first before anything. So we've got obscuring terrain here, obscuring and dense, obscuring and dense, and then everything else is basically true line of sight. So today on the channel we've got myself piloting the Necrons, and we have Paddy here today.
How are we doing, guys? You alright? First time Nids on the channel.
Yep, so we've got Paddy here, experienced Tyranids player. Went to Heat 3 or was it that year?
No, it was the GT Finals, and I won my first 4 games, lost my last 2. The player who I played in the last game was actually the guy that won the tournament, so can't feel bad about that. Plus as well, it was in the Marine meta, which is... Says it all, really.
It is what it is.
As well as your Instagram page, Kano Khan.
Yep, Kono Khan on Kono Khan 40k on Instagram, and essentially it's just a progress of my white scars, essentially, which hopefully will be on the channel soon when I actually get them painted.
So you'll be right back in a minute with the army list.
Okay, so this is my list. So to start with, we have my Warlord, which is a Neurothrope. He doesn't have a Warlord trait, which I'll tell you why in a minute, but he has the Resonance Barb Relic, and then he also has Catalyst as his psychic power. Then we move on to the Broodlord, it's just box standard Broodlord, who has Onslaught psychic power. We then have a main man, Old One Eye, total beast. Moving on to Elites, we've got Squad of 6 Hive Guard with Impaler Cannons. Squad of 6 Zone Thropes with Psychic Scream. We have 2 Lictors. Moving into the troops, we've got 2 squads of 29 Termagaunts, 2 squads of 3 Rippers, 2 squads of 20 Hormagaunts, and 3 squads of, my fast stack of 3 squads of 15 Gargoyles. And that is my list. That's 2,000 points on the nose. I don't spend any CP before the game starts. Just to go over, instead of giving my Warlord a Warlord trait, I've instead given my Hive Guard one of the adaptive physiologies, which is enhanced resistance. So that's AP1 and AP2 count as AP0.
Okay, so we've got Necrons back again. Same army list as last time on Battle Reports. So we're playing 1 single battalion of Celtech. Leading it up, we've got Imhotep as the Warlord. And he's taking his named Warlord trait, Hypercorticus something.
Something or other.
Yeah, 5+ command points back when I spend them. We've got Overlord with War Scythe and Resurrection Orb, which I've given him. And he has the Relic Veil of Darkness. And we've got Caesar, just a standard. I can't actually say his whole name, so he's just Caesar. Then troop choices, got 20 warriors with the Reaper guns, 10 immortals with Tesla. I would play Gauss, but I haven't actually got any built.
Because he mattered him with his immortals.
Yeah. And then third troop choice is 20 warriors with Freyas. Then we've got fast attack, 1 sword of 5 scarabs. Heavy choices, 3 Doomsday Arcs as standard, and 1 Doom Scythe. And that is it for the Necrons. It's 1990, that's up to. I'll do a pen and paper. And deployments. Deployment, so we've got 3 arcs. Placed the best I could, get line of sight I could. Then we've got the castle with all the characters and all the troops for all the buffs. And then on the end, just some scarabs and the fire. So on the secondaries, I've thinned the ranks because of the amount of horde I'm facing today. I'll click Abda Rich for the 2 character psychics and the 1 psychic unit he's got. And I've gone for Line Breaker, trying to deal with my Veil of Darkness. that's about all I can do really. I'm a bit worried facing the horde because I've been in Doomsday Arcs with shooting troops most of this game. So
all those weapons like to kill marines.
Oh, and then I forgot in my army list, I've got super auxiliary of bug killer. So that's on backup knight, and he's going to be taking out the fucking.
I should have brought Brasso with me.
Brasso. So that's it for Necrons. So over to nids.
Okay, so with my Tyranids, I've obviously lots of stuff. So I've got my 3 squads of gargoyles in reserve, my 2 lictors in reserve, and my 2 squads of rippers in reserve. Got my blob of zones with my warlord in the middle, blob of hive guard, old one eye, broodlord, and then scattering of gaunts everywhere.
We have a scattering of gaunts.
Scattering of
we have a
gaunts.
purple tide.
Purple tide.
Might actually have a painted army on the channel recently. Nothing to get to that. So you'll talk for your secondaries.
So yeah, the secondaries that I've gone for While We Stand We Fight, which is on Old One Eye, my Broodlord, and my Neurothrope. The main reason why I've gone for that is because Neurothropes are relatively hard to kill with a 3-up invul and the ability to regenerate with their own abilities. Then Old One Eye also regenerates, and there's a stratagem I can use to regen him up as well. Just to go over my hive fleet that I've gone for with a custom hive fleet. So I've gone for So I've gone for adaptive exoskeleton. So all my gaunt variants, so that's the termagaunts, horngaunts, and the gargoyles, all have a 6-up invulnerable save. And then I have gone for metabolic regrowth. So at the start of each of my turns, a unit with this adaptation regenerates 1 wound. So anything that doesn't have an invulnerable save, it regenerates a wound.
Sweet.
Engaging all fronts, because I've got the mobility and I've got the models to be able to do it. And I've gone for the secondary in the mission, which is surround them. So I score 4 victory points at the end of my command phase and at the end of the battle if I control both objective markers in my deployment zone and at least 1 objective marker in my opponent's deployment zone. I score 8 victory points instead if I control all 4 objective markers that are in the deployment zones.
Which I think you're going to do.
I hope so. Rack them points up.
So that's it for secondaries and appointment. So now we'll do the roll off.
So the roll off.
2 on Necrons.
And 2. Whoa, suspense.
4.
4. And 3.
First turn Necrons.
You want to go first turn?
Yep.
Let's do this.
So back after time on movement, Necrons. So Necrons turn 1. So in my command phase, I've done Protocol of the Southern Storm. I've done Directive Ron. So I got +1 movement, Aura of Emotech. So it just helped with the movements. In my command phase, Emotech and Overlord, between them did my Will Be Dones on all the troops. And then movements, got Doomsday Arcs moved up, Iron Up Rapid Fire into the gaunts. And then we got Fires moved up, looking at Hive Guard.
Try and take some of them pesky buggers
Yeah.
out.
Less guns there. Other Doomsday Arcs. Doomsday Arcs I stood still for high power shots. And then the scouts are just shuffled over onto the objective. So we're back with shooting next. Shoot. Well, we've done Emotech's ability. We just knocked off a few gaunts here and there. Didn't really do too much. So
Did
first,
it to the Broodlord.
yeah.
Doesn't really matter next
Good.
turn.
So we're going to start with Doom Scythe. Death Ray's going to go into Hive Guard. And Tesla shots again going to the Psychic.
Ropes.
Yeah. So I'll start with the Death Ray. There's 3 shots, hitting on 3s. So 2 hits. Strength 10.
Strength 10, toughness 5.
2s.
1.
Commander 1.
Always commanding already.
Do I get it back on a 5 up? Nope. So
And then he rolls a 1 again. Ah.
so 2 go through, -4.
-4, no save.
3 damage.
Flat 3, 2
Plus
damage.
D3.
So I'll take him off because I don't like the line of sight over there. And I'll take him off.
Then we've got the Tesla, 10 shots now, going into Psychics. So hitting on 3s, 6s, trigger additionals. So 2 6s, 2 additionals. Strength 7.
Toughness 4.
So 3s. So 4 saves, no AP.
4 saves, no AP, so 3 up in rolls. So 1 is taking a wound.
Yep.
And zone throats are 3 wounds each, if I'm not mistaken. Yes.
So now I'm going to spend 2 command points. Do I get 1 back? Yep. And I'm going to put methodical destruction onto the psychics.
Yep.
So now so next up, we can go Doomsday Arc number 1.
Yep.
I should have mentioned before, but obviously the cannon's going to go into the psychics, and the rapid fire guns is out range. So it's D6 shots at a psychic.
Yep.
Minimum of 3, because you've got 6.
Because I've got 6 there currently.
Yeah. 5 shots.
5 shots.
So hitting on 2s now. So all hit. Strength 10. So 2s. So 5 invulnerables.
5 in rolls. 3 up. Failed 1.
1.
Damage.
D6.
D6.
Yeah?
Yep.
6. So then second Doomsday Arc. Going to shoot now. Not going to get the brass wall because you only got 5 now, yeah?
Yep. Do you get a +1 to hit on this one as well?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Any other Saltec unit. So 4 shots. 2s. All hit.
2 to go.
2 to wound. So 4 invulnerables.
4 in rolls. Ugh. So first one.
Yep.
2.
2 wounds.
And then second one will kill it.
Yep.
So I will take.
Oh.
Let's go for.
So back in a minute with the next one. So next up, got the Doomsday Arc. We're going to do rapid fire guns at 18 inches for Saltec into the gaunts.
These ones at the front here.
And we're going to do the low powered gun into them as well, because I've moved. So starting with rapid fire guns, hitting on 3s. And strength 4, toughness 3, so 3's wound. So you got 3, 6, 9, 12 saves, -1.
That's 12. So 6 up in roll because of the high fleet. Oh, plenty of 6s there. So 7 dead.
Yep. Then you've got the low powered D6 shots. You still got over 11? Oh, not.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dead.
How many's left? Or does brass,
1, 2, 3, 4,
when I
5, 6,
deploy
7,
it.
8, 9.
when I deploy the shots, it does it, doesn't it?
Yeah, because all the shots done
Yeah.
at the same time. So,
So it's 6 shots, it's going to be then?
yeah,
Because you oh,
6 dice.
so 4 hit, and strength 8,
So 2s.
and so 4 at -2.
4 at -2. So got 6 up in vulnerables. 3 dead.
Yep. So back in a minute, more. Immortals now. Again, fire across at the tumblets. Big blob, yeah. So 20 shots, hitting on 2s, and then 6s for additionals. So 5 additionals.
Tesla not too bad shot now.
Yeah.
Oh.
20. Strength 5, so 3's a wound.
No, what I mean is, don't 6s count as 3 hits now? Do you not add 2 dice per 6?
Yes.
Ooh,
Yeah.
there's more dice.
Yeah, I was thinking.
How many actions did you get?
Got 5, so another 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 more.
So
Yeah.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you abilities.
No, it was 2 wounds to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Tesla strength
3,
5.
yeah. So it's 3, 5, 8, 10, 15, 19 saves. No
19
AP.
saves. So 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19, you say?
Yep.
19, 6 up. So 3 saves.
16 there.
16 dead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Warriors, I spent 1 command point for this assault or onslaught. So 6s will be additional hit. And they're going to shoot straight across into the gaunts. So 15 shots, hitting on 2s. That's not going to be done. So 3 additional hits. And strength 4, so 3 to wound.
Yep.
Which one there? 3, 6, 9, 11, minus 1.
3, 6, 9, 11. 6 ups. So 7 dead. No, 9 dead.
Yeah.
1.
So he's going to shoot his staff in at the gaunts.
Desperation.
D3 shots.
Desperate.
3 shots. Hit on 3s. Or hit. Strength 8, so 2s. 2 minus 4.
2 6 up involves.
2 stick. And that's the end of Necron shooting. No charges, so we'll come back with end of turn points. Necron's turn. Obviously I'll kill a lot of models, but we'll do thinner ranks end of the game. Haven't killed any psychics, and I'll knock the line breaker. So you're back with Tyranids turn 1 next.
Okay, so movement phase, I've moved my Termin Gaunts up here, I've advanced them as well, hoping to get an onslaught off on these so then they can advance and charge. These 3 have just moved up onto this objective, hoping that this lot will keep them occupied enough to ignore these. I've moved these Gaunts up to prevent this one from shooting anything else but my Gaunts. These Gaunts moved up a bit, mainly to protect the Broodlord, because ideally next turn, hopefully the Broodlord will be round this side kind of thing, so then I can start taking his objectives. Old One Eye is advanced up behind this building here. Hive Guard has stayed where they are, and that's about it. I didn't really expect Martin to deal as much damage as what he did, but that is the way the game goes. So we'll come back after Psychic.
Go for it.
Okay, so start the Psychic phase. I've done Synaptic Channeling, which is 1 CP. I use a stratagem in my Psychic phase. I select 1 Hive Fleet Psyker, so my Warlord, and then until the end of the phase, he knows all of the psychic powers known by friendly Hive Fleet Psykers that are on the battlefield. So first of all, we went off with a Catalyst, and that went off on the Zoanthropes. Then I went on the Onslaught on the Hormagaunts, and that went off. Then the Zoanthropes cast Smite, and they also cast Psychic Scream. And then the Broodlord cast Smite as well, knocking the flyer down to a total of 4 wounds. So hopefully I will be able to destroy it on the shooting phase, but we shall see.
Back in a bit.
So, the flyer is gone after the shooting phase. I targeted the Gaunts at it. They did nothing, even though they advanced and they're hitting on 6s. You'd think they'd do something. Nope. The squad of 3 Gaunts here, again, nothing. The Hive Guard, the first volley that they did, they absolutely whiffed. 8 shots, 1 hit. It wounded and caused 1 whole damage. And then I used Single Minded Annihilation, which is, I use a stratagem at the end of my shooting phase. I select a Tyranid infantry unit, and they can immediately shoot again. So they shot at the flyer and finally downed it. The reason why I went for the flyer, because at the minute it's the main thing that worries me when it comes to picking off my characters and my Hive Guards. So hopefully that's done the trick. If not, then we may be in trouble. So moving on to the charges, we are going to charge the squad of Hormagaunts here. Yep. They're going to charge into the Immortals.
Yep.
And then, even though I won't be able to attack them, they'll swing round and hopefully tie these up as well. Hoping that Martin hasn't picked the protocol where he can fall back and shoot, because that'd be annoying. But we shall see.
Yep.
So
and
let's see.
I will spend 1 to Overwatch.
Oh, he's going to Overwatch. Ooh, he's going to Overwatch.
You'll come back in a minute after.
Yeah, we'll come back in a minute.
Okay, so these Hormagaunts over here made their charge. I did lose 8 Hormagaunts here off the Overwatch from the Immortals with their horrible Tesla in Overwatch. It's disgusting, but great. So I lost 8, but enough of them got in, which is good. So we'll come back after the combat phase. Oh, I'm within range of morale, so I don't have to worry. Yep. And same there. So morale for the Immortals.
Leadership 10, lost 4.
Lost 4.
So 6.
Isn't it 6 still a fail?
No, because 6 plus 4 is 10 leadership, but
Yeah, well, I thought 6 was always a fail on morale.
don't think so.
I don't know. Okay, so combat over here then. was the gaunts against the vehicle. Only did him one wound, but one's better than nothing. I know he'll regain it next turn. Here I've managed to tie up the warriors, so if they do want to fall back, they can't shoot me. Here he did manage to kill quite a few of my gaunts, but then I used caustic blood at the start of the fight phase. So for every single model that he's killed, I rolled a dice, and on a roll of a 6, he takes a mortal wound back. And because of the way that the reanimation protocols work for Necrons, he doesn't get to make a reanimation roll for the mortal wounds taken because of the caustic blood. So,
Dead Necrons.
yeah,
Sneaky.
dead Necrons.
They're sneaky.
Good old acidy blood. That's what I like to see.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So end of my turn.
Score 2 for engaging all fronts.
I score 2 for engaging all fronts.
And that's it, yeah.
Unless where's this? I know. So yeah, scored 2 on engage there,
Yeah.
isn't it?
So back in there with Necrons turn 2. Turn 2, I scored 10 points following 2 objectives on the primary, but not more on pad. So then in the command phase, gone to protocol of conquering tyrant. So come South Tech, I get both directives. So I'll always become 9 inches, and I get to fall back and shoot at -1.
What I really did not want.
So then in the command phase, we've got my will be done onto the immortals and the warriors. Overlords done my will be done, and Veil of Darkness over. Everything else has been stood still. Doomsday Arcs remained in combat to do shooting in there, and the other arcs are stood still for high power shots. Lining up the psychics, I think. So we'll come back to shooting. The Necron shooting. The Reaper shot in at Hive Guard, knocked off a couple.
So I've killed the 2 that were closest, so at least then this one here is still within the objective. So if he does end up killing the zone thropes, then at least I'm still holding that objective in my turn.
Then the Immortals killed the Gaunts and Warriors killed the Gaunts there. Doomsday Arc shot in combat. Tried shooting all my guns rapid firing to the Gaunts to kill him. And I did
6 up involves.
They tried to cannon out old One Eye, but one Gaunt got left. So the cannon failed, unfortunately.
So yeah, you couldn't target him.
So you couldn't target old One Eye. That might be a dead arc in a minute.
So now we're going to the big guns. And start with Caesar. He's going to shoot a spear over at the psychics. So D3 shots. 3. Hitting on 3s. Or hit. Strength 8.
So
2s. So 3 and -4.
3 -4, so 3 involves.
All set. So then we're going to go Doomsday Arcs. Number 1, high power shot. Only 4, so no blast. So 6 shots. I'm going to kill 1. I can hit on 3s. Wounded on 2s. So 5 involves. Show me the fails.
1 fail.
1.
Do I CP it? Yeah, well, I'll CP it. So 3 up. That can
Right.
still fail.
So D6 damage. For 3.
So 3 feel no pains. He survives completely.
Oh, mate. Fucking decent.
And finally, the last Doomsday Arc into the Psychic Arc. So D6 shots.
6 shots again, Martin. Really?
Oh, I don't know, 6s. 3s. 4 hits.
4 hits. 2s.
2s.
Nice.
Oh, just 3.
Ones there. Ideal. All passed.
Yeah! Zone ropes!
I think that's
Super
going to be
sick.
it. So we'll come back with points.
Just check morale. Obviously they're fine. And he's fine.
Okay.
Good.
Synapse is good.
Line breaker for this turn.
Once turn 2, I get Line Breaker for 4 points, and that's it. So back on Tyranids turn 2 next.
Turn 2 indeed. Okay, so end of movement. I've shuffled around my zone thropes. I've put him here just in case we do get some shenanigans where they die. Gargoyles have come in straight into engagement range. Old One Eye's moved up to go and tackle a certain issue there. Gaunts are just scattered around. Broodlords hoofed it up. Gargoyles have come in. Lictors come in. And the Ripper Squad has come in.
So
He's
he's
everywhere.
he's
Yeah.
fucking all he's all
I
over the
went
shop.
all over the place now.
And you still got more reserves coming.
I've still got more reserves to come on next turn.
There's still more.
The mighty horde. Cool. So that is the end of my movement. Straight into psychic phase.
Right.
Psychic phase. First of all, we did the zone thropes. The zone thropes did a smite, causing 4 mortal wounds into these. Then they did a psychic screen, which also did another 1. Then we did the Broodlord next, doing a smite on the scarabs. Only did him 1 mortal wound. And then we got a super smite off with the Warlord onto the warriors here as well, dealing another 4 mortal wounds, as well as doing catalyst again onto the zone thropes. That is the end of my psychic phase. We'll be back after the shooting. Okay, so not a lot in my shooting, but the army isn't designed to shoot. So over in the far corner, Gargoyles managed to kill a base of Rippers, reducing 1 down to 2 wounds.
Yep.
Then the first volley of the Hive Guard into that arc there, which he then used,
Quantum deflection.
which gives himself a 4-up invul. Did a decent amount of wounds, and then I used single minded annihilation to shoot them again, only dealing 1 additional wound this time. So that's the end of my shooting. Charges. So we'll charge Old One Eye into the arc here.
Yep.
We charge the Broodlord into the Scarabs. Also the Gargoyles into the Scarabs. We'll charge these Rippers into that arc.
Yep.
I'll use a stratagem on the Lictor to get +1 to my charge roll and not allowing you to overwatch, whichever one that is. I'll try and find it in a minute. I'll find it in a minute.
Yep.
So yeah, those will be all my charges.
So come back after charges.
Come back after charges then. Are you doing a Okay, so first of all we went in with where did we go first? We went with the Gargoyles here first. So the Gargoyles, they managed to whittle the squad down a little further with blinding venom attacks, and now until my next turn they are -1 to all their hit rolls. Then you then interrupted, didn't you, Martin?
Yeah, with
your
Scarabs. And I did the self-destruct strat. So I sacrificed the Scarab basically. I did 2 mortal wounds to the Broodlord.
And then he did two more wounds to him in combat.
Yeah, with Scarabs.
Then Broodlord swang back, killing the Scarabs. I then spent 1 CP to do overrun. So because I'm no longer within 1 inch of an enemy model, I can then 3 inches of an enemy model, I can then move as if it was a moving phase. So I've moved behind that pillar to minimise line of sight. Then we go to the Rippers. Rippers didn't do anything, but it's stopping it from shooting next turn.
Lost 1 on
Anything else?
Overwatch.
Yeah, I lost 1 off the Overwatch. The Lictor did nothing to it. Can't remember if it did anything.
No damage.
No damage, but when it swang back, it dealt a point of damage to him. Old One Eye absolutely murdered that one.
Yeah.
And when you swang back over here, you dealt 2 wounds, didn't you? So, you used your
Pass
pass
morale.
morale, the 1 per
models.
game. So that is the end of my. Oh, I had to fight again with Old One Eye. So I am currently on 0 CP, but we shall see what happens now. So at the end of my turn, I'm scoring
Every table quarter. And you get surround.
I score 4 points at the end of my command phase and battle. So
Next command phase.
yeah, next my command phase,
If
I
you're
will
still where
hopefully,
you are.
yeah, I'll hopefully be scoring points. So
Yep.
I should really move around with that, but that's annoying. So yeah, that's the end of my turn 2. Moving into Martin's turn 3.
Necrons. Yep. Got 10 points on the primary. So then we've gone into command phase. So we've gone to Protocol of Vengeful Stars. I've done Directive 1, so I get an extra AP on 6s. So then, in the command phase, I've used the Overlord's Resurrection Orb once per game. I've brought back all the dead warriors. So I'm back up to strength 20, but still in combat. Have a formal back. Then over here, Fast Doomsday Arc stayed in combat with Scabs. The other one's falling back from the Lector. Caesar and the Mortals come over to try and kill him. Warriors and Imitex just moved across, eyeing up the gargoyles, and that one fucking last time lot. So he's back after shooting. Or root shooting. So Necron shooting. The warriors killed off with the gargoyles.
Obliterated gargoyles.
Imhotep finally killed out the last gaunt. The Doomsday Ark killed the scouts with rapid fire in combat. And this big gun went into the Lictor and killed him.
Lictor's
And
gone.
that's about it for shooting. Even though I was shooting, I'm in a very bad position for objectives now. He's got Broodlord back here and all these gaunts, which I'm not actually going to be able to get to. So, you know, Yuck's good on table, it's not getting Yuck good objective wise, I don't think. So, come in combat and defend the fights first.
So combat here with the gargoyles. So 13 gargoyles there, all getting their attacks. Hitting on 4s, obviously I'm using the blinding venom attack again. And then wounding, they're toughness 5, aren't they?
Because
So,
he's all busy.
yep. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no minus.
4 ups.
So
So 2 dead.
2. So
And
they're
reanimations.
Yep.
On 5 ups, we all ones.
So 2 dead.
Yeah, and then not coming back. And how many have I got in range to
In
attack?
range, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So 10 attacks, hit on 2s.
3s.
Because the minus hit.
This is my minus, yeah.
Because of the blinding. It's one hit. It's just
Blinding
one
damage.
hit. isn't it?
Strength 4. So 2 wounds, no AP.
2 6-up involves. So 1 dead.
Whittle them down, so.
Wheel him down.
I think that's it for combat.
That is it for combat.
No
morale
morale
for
for
me.
So combat for points in a sec. And then Necron's turn, I've got another 4 points on the line breaker. And that's it. So coming over to Tyranids, turn 3 next. Back.
Right, so end of movement phase. Zone throats have moved up. Old One Eye has moved up to get some hefty kills over there. Broodlord's moved over just to cover these on synapse to ignore morale, just in case he does get some shots off. Then end of movement. Rippers have come on to secure that objective. Lictors come on here. Hopefully to get a charge on here. Gargoyles have come on here. Hopefully get some charges off there. And that is the end of my movement. So psychic phase. So first things first, we will go with the zone throats. I'm going to do a smite. Now I'm equal distance between these two.
Yep.
So I'm going to choose to do a smite on that one.
Yep.
So El Smite comes an 8. So 2d3.
Yep.
For 3 damage.
Yep. I'm 11.
And then I will do Psychic Scream, which essentially is another smite, but I don't get a super smite on it. So 5 goes off for another 1.
Yep. I'm 10.
Then over here, we'll go for another smite on these guys. So it goes off an 11,
Yep.
because I get +1 because of the resonance buff.
Yep.
So d6 for 4.
Yep.
Assume the back 4.
Actually, what take these for?
Take those 4.
Yeah, so my overlord can get in.
Okay, so now we've removed those 4. Now we'll go with a catalyst again on the zone throats. So it's a cast on an 11, well on a 12, but I don't perils because it's not a double 6. So that goes off as well. And that is the end of my psychic phase. Into my shooting phase.
We'll be back.
Okay, so end of the shooting phase. We managed to pot off another 1 or 2 wounds off there.
Yep.
Gargoyles then shot between the 2, dealt a wound there. And that is the end of my shooting phase, into the charge phase. Okay, so the gargoyles failed their charge, but the lictor made his. So when he charged this one, and then when he came around he piled round, so he's within engagement range of both. Didn't do any wounds there, I don't think, did he?
No.
Nope. Your Imhotep, he...
Overlord.
Not Imhotep, sorry, Overlord, he heroically intervened. Killed a couple of gargoyles. Gargoyles swung back, didn't do any damage. Old One Eye came round, charged both Imhotep and the warriors, and look at in attack, lying on the floor.
He's face down.
Yeah, so
Let's see
end
if
of 5 ace, spend 1 for resurrection protocols. So on a 4 up, he gets back up.
3. Ah, that's a 6.
So he gets back up, 3
How many
inches
wounds?
away, and it is with D3 wounds. 3 wounds.
3 bloody wounds.
And you'll regain through living metal. Well done.
Great.
Back up.
Cool.
Take that one eye. I'll just get a ton in there so he gives him the finger. I think that's it then, yeah?
Yeah.
So-
So end of my turn. No morale anywhere.
None for me.
Engage on all fronts. I get 4 again. Or 3 or whatever it is.
Yeah, 3. And surround.
Surround is at my
Like
command
command
phase,
phase, yeah.
and then at the end of the game.
Okay, so we back with Necrons turn 4, isn't it?
Oh, you haven't finished recording. You haven't finished the. Cool, so that's the scores on the board.
Four, get 5 points for 1 primary objective. So I'm going to struggle here for the last couple of times. So going into command phase, I've got Protocol Tunnel Guardian. I've chose the bottom one, so I can either set to defend or hold steady. But that's only going to affect the warriors, who I've now fallen back. Imitech did my will be done on the warriors, and Overlord did my will be done on other warriors. Warriors fell back from the gargoyles. Overlord stayed in combat. So I'm going to try and get some shooting last time with warriors, hopefully. Both Doomsday Arcs have stayed in combat with Lictor, and the Immortals have just shifted around eyeing up the gargoyles. And Caesar's come across to try and pick off old One Eye.
Try.
So come back with shooting in a minute. So after Necron shooting, Caesar killed off old One Eye.
Some lucky ass shots.
Yeah. This Doomsday Arc done stellar protocols. That's top bracket. Shot everything, all the rapid fire guns into the Lictor. Failed to kill it. And then the second Doomsday Arc done the rapid fire guns in and finished it. This high powered shot killed off the Broodlord.
Through a stupid misplacement of forgetting.
He was out in the
Look out,
open.
sir, rules.
And the Immortals shot in, right down a load of gargoyles, and Imitech shot his staff in and finished them. And that's about it for shooting. So we're going to go in combat and Paddy will fight fast with gargoyles. Necron's turn 4. It's got 5 points on average for killing the Broodlord. And it's got another 4 points on Linebreaker. And I'll continue to thin the ranks. So you're back with Tyranids turn 4.
Right. Okay, so end of my movement. I completely forgot about something else. So plans have changed. So I've brought my zone throats back slightly. So now I'm within 3 of him, covering his ass a little bit. The gargoyles broke from combat here. They moved to here, and then I use metabolic overdrive, which allows me to move them again. So they've plonked themselves on that objective. Rippers over there are stayed where they are. These have come round, getting ready for a charge on these. So now, at the end of the movement, I will essentially only allow Martin to have 2 objectives while I'm still holding 4. So moving into psychic phase, we're going to go straight in with the zone throats. The zone throats are going to attempt to smite on the immortals. So it's a 10, so 2d3 for 4. And then psychic scream, so again 5, so passed, for another 3.
Dead.
So that's immortals dead. We then move over to the warlord. He's going to catalyst on these guys. So it's a perils. So he suffers d3. So he suffers 2. So he goes down to 3. And then we're going to smite the overlord. So it's on a 6, but I get +1 for 9. Doing d3 for 3. And a 1. Okay, so that's the end of my psychic phase. Into the shooting phase. My hive guard against the overlord did absolutely nothing, completely whiffed. And the gaunts caused one warrior to fall over, but he didn't get up, which was good. So, end of shooting phase into the charge phase.
Yep.
So, there's only one charge, which is going to be the gaunts into the warriors. You can't overwatch because you have no CP left, and they are most definitely in. We'll come back after fight phase, just to stop them from shooting me.
So no casualties.
No, nothing died.
Okay, so end of my turn. I get
2 on engage.
2 on engage, yeah. And that's it. So Martin's turn gets
5. Necron's turn, score 10 points for the primary for 2 objectives start turn. My protocol is of the Undying Legions. I took number 1, so I gained 1 additional wound with living metal each turn. Warriors, I fell back from the gods. And warriors here moved across to get double tap range on the psychics, which I can now remember the name of.
Sanford.
And both Doomsday Arcs have stood still. So literally all the focus this turn is going on all the psychics and the warlord hopefully. So we'll come back and shoot them. Yeah. So end the Necron shooting. Unfortunately didn't get what I wanted.
good old zone throats.
So warriors
Cream of the crop.
and mortals all shot in. Knocked one down to 1 wound or something. The other arc managed to get the unit down to 2. So then my second arc went to the warlord. Got 2 hits through on the warlord, and then I rolled double 1 on wounds.
Snake eyes.
Yeah.
And he would have died, but it is what it is. So that's the end of Necron's turn. And I'm going to be scoring 4 on line breaker.
Max out on line breaker.
Yeah. And then we'll work out finishing ranks at the end of the game. So we're back with Tyranids the last turn in a minute.
Yeah. Okay, so end of movement. I've moved my zone throats, they advance to here, and then I use the metabolic overdrive strat to move them again. Then I've moved my my warlord over to guarantee a smite over here, and that's the end of my movement. So psychic phase, I will go straight in with a smite here on the most wounded one. So that
11 wounds and 8 wounds.
yeah, so on the 8 wounded one. So goes off, only D3 this time. So for 2. And then they'll Psychic Scream for another 2.
And 2, 4.
Over here then, Smite onto the Warlord. So it goes off.
Yep.
And D3 for 2. So he guys.
Yep.
Brown bread.
And then my shooting phase. It's going to be a very short shooting phase, but I want to kill Caesar. Get rid of him. So Hive Guard into Caesar.
Yep.
So 1 miss. Toughness.
6.
Toughness 6 for 3s. So it's 3 minus 2.
So 5 up safe. 2 go through.
And damage is for a hefty 6.
Down to 1 wound.
Ah,
cool.
he stays alive. Cheeky bugger. Cool, so that is the end of my turn.
So we'll come back with points and that.
Okay, so at the end of my turn, I get, and the end of the game, I get 5 points for while we stand me fight, 13 on engage on all fronts, 15 on surround, and I get 45 on the primary, which leaves me on 88 points. And Martin.
Scored 10 points on finishing ranks, we worked out. And my end score was 75. So 13 point difference. Fortunately, Abba the Rich let me down. Even with some good rolling and turn, would have been able to win, but I would shorten the gap.
We worked it out, didn't we, that if you did manage to kill my warlord and zones,
yeah.
I think it was either a draw or
A couple
a point difference in it. I think the thing that let me down was misplacement on my broodlord over there.
Yeah.
Well, not so much the broodlord, but the rippers. I kept having in my head, make sure I'm within 3, make sure I'm within 3. And then when I put them down, I was like, why have I done that? Now they're going to get shot. Let's put them behind. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, yeah, I've now lost that broodlord.
obviously this end of the table you controlled.
Yeah.
Literally, I got put back this corner of the table. I couldn't really get out apart from my line breaker
You were surrounded.
plan.
Yeah. At the end of the day, the list itself works the way how I'd expect it to work, where it just swamps the board, prevents you from getting objectives, and hems you in to a point where you are literally stuck to 1, maybe 2 quarters. As for your line breaker, I could have dealt with it, but I thought in the long run to deal with it would mean not focusing on things I should.
You got it down close.
I got it down
and then
close.
I brought them all back.
Yeah, and then you brought them all back with the resort, where it's to be expected anyway.
Did a Night King.
Yeah, just brought them all back up. So all in all, it was a really good game. Really, it was to the wire the whole entire time.
Thoughts on Necrons with new rules?
Thoughts on Necrons with the new rules? I definitely think the way to go if you're going down the reanimation protocols is just go warrior spam. Literally just a warrior horde, just like proper Night King style. So have like the Silent King there with a bunch of warriors, a couple of wardens in there, and literally just march up the board and sit on objectives.
Yeah.
Or go the mechanised route, I think, would be really good as well. The fact that quantum shielding is so much better than what it used to be.
Yeah, you said about annihilation barges.
Yeah, annihilation barges as well. Like, it's just so much better than what it was. The fact that you can only room the vehicles on 2s. I mean, like, hive guards should have ripped through like the
wounded on 4s is a big.
Yeah, they should have ripped through the boats at least. I should have killed at least another 1, maybe another 2.
Yeah.
But the fact that I was winning them on 4s was just, it was a no-go.
You would ask, obviously, you limited my shooting, tie them up and stuff.
Yeah, well, that's what I have to do with this list. I have to see what is the most biggest threat on the board and tie it up. Just keep throwing units at it until end of the game. It's one of the other good things about Horde is now that the game has gone to 5 turns, but I can do that. Before, when the game was 6 to 7 turns, it would get to a point where the Horde would have run out of steam, you would have run out of resources, you'd be left with a couple of units on the board, and then that's then when your opponent then starts racking up the points and winning.
Yeah.
At least with now being at 5 turns, the Swarm is definitely a contender, and that's why I said about the marching phalanx of Necron warriors.
You've proved that Hordes still work at night.
Hordes do work,
even with the brass and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
a couple of times it did hurt, but
yeah,
it's Gords.
it's Hordes. Yeah, exactly. At the end of the day, the sort of meta that's out there at the minute is MSU. So those of you who don't know what MSU is just multiple securing units where you just have loads of little units kicking about on the board, scoring objectives and like minimising the effectiveness of your opponent's firepower and combat capabilities, and just going off that really. Where Horde, I wouldn't say it's a direct counter to MSU, but it's with MSU you have smaller squads firing their limited amount of shots into your big Horde squads, and then you've got the fact that, like for instance, Space Marines, where they've lost a lot of their rerolls, especially like on things like repulsors and stuff like that, where they used to have an abundance of shots, where now you're not getting that, so people aren't taking them. They'd rather take like 6 small squads of Space Marines and hope on the firepower that way. The other thing as well is so many people still scared of Blast. Blast isn't that devastating. I mean,
yeah, they only have me out a few times.
Yeah, Necrons I think is like one of those exceptions to like people not having blast weapons. For instance, like most Space Marine lists that you'll see, if unless they're within grenade range, they don't have blast weapons. So like Horde armies just tend to like march up and do what they do.
I think guards really the only
guard, but then
their ballistic skill like
yeah. Yeah, all in all, I think Horde is definitely the way to go for Tyranids.
Yeah.
It's
good to actually play some nids once.
Yeah.
Rather than Nev, you let down.
Yeah, I got bored of seeing all the same armies on the channel, so I thought, hey, I'll bring the Tyranids.
Yeah,
show you what these guys can do.
Good to have you up.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Hopefully see you again with maybe white scars. Eventually.
I do hope white scars. For those of you who do follow me on Instagram, it's a very slow process to get the white scars done. I mean, like my Tyranids is just done in a very basic scheme with an airbrush, where my white scars, there's a lot more detail that I actually want to capture on the models. So yeah, it is taking a lot longer than what I'd hoped. So, but yeah, thank you for having me. Hopefully you'll have me on again soon. And
for those you don't know, Paddy's actually Ant's cousin. So if you watch the previous Battle War, this has been a Baron double bill.
I got a better hairline than that though, so it's all good.
No spoilers, but this one did a little bit better. Sorry, Ant.
Yeah. Watch the previous video. I don't actually know what happened in that yet, but yeah.
So that's it. Thanks for watching. Cheers and go on, and make sure you subscribe and catch Paddy's Instagram page.
Cheers,
She'll be
guys.
down below.